Hey everybody, I'm going to briefly talk to you about the concept of mindfulness and how you might be able to use it in order to feel a little more well equipped to deal with some of the stress that you're experiencing. So, you probably have heard of mindfulness, right? It's something that many people are talking about even before all of this pandemic stuff. But mindfulness is the process of bringing your attention to something in the moment. Here's why mindfulness is helpful and why it's especially important right now. If you're practicing mindfulness, you're not able, by definition, to be focused on anything that's going on outside or by anything that may happen in the future. And so when we find ourselves dealing with especially stressful situations, like being concerned about a pandemic situation or what might the next steps in isolation look like, mindfulness can be especially helpful in just asking ourselves to really focus on what's happening in the moment. And so I'm going to demonstrate mindfulness to you right now, just a brief technique that you might be able to use. You can do any types of mindfulness, right? There's a million examples out there, but I'm going to show you something that I have found personally helpful because it's something that I can do multiple times throughout the day, and even maybe more so could be relevant right now. So the mindfulness that I like to use is mindfulness involving lotioning my hands. So I have one of my favorite lotions right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start the process of being mindful with regard to my lotion routine. So the very first step is I'm just going to hold on to this and I'm just going to examine the actual tube that the lotion is in. So I'm going to look at it and just kind of note that it's cool in my hands and note that it's a metal tube. Now I'm just going to slowly take the cap off and be really intentional and focused on this. And if I notice my mind start to wander, I'm just going to work on bringing it right back to what I'm doing in this moment. If I notice any judgments, so if I notice myself starting to think like, oh, this is taking too long, or I should already be lotioning my hands, I'm just going to gently bring my attention right back to the present moment and try to respond non-judgmentally to what I'm doing. So I'm now going to squeeze out the lotion, and you can take your time with this. You can go as fast or slow as you want. For my purposes, since I'm demonstrating this, I'm going to go a little bit faster than I might normally go. But I have the lotion in my hand, and I'm going to smell it and just really kind of focus in on that experience of smelling it and really just kind of thinking about the lotion. And now I'm just sort of very gently kind of moving it in my hands and just experiencing the process of putting it on and the sensation of the lotion being on my hands and how it feels to kind of rub it into my skin. As I mentioned, this can be a really good technique to use right now because a lot of us are putting extra emphasis on washing our hands. And so putting a little extra emphasis on lotioning our hands could be a good idea too. But I'm just rubbing it in and I'm really noticing the sensation of the lotion on my hands. I'm really focused on that. I'm focused on the way that the lotion feels and the way that my hands feel when they're rubbing together, the touch of my own skin on each other, the touch of my hands on each other, and just now smelling it and really thinking about this fragrance and how it's moved from my hands. I can smell it now. One of the other pieces that you can incorporate with this type of mindfulness routine is also practicing some gratitude. And so, one of the things that I like to do is just kind of reflect on being thankful for having the lotion, for being able to physically put the lotion onto my hands to take care of my skin. For me personally, this is a little bit extra meaningful because this particular lotion was a gift from a very dear friend. And so when I have the lotion and I put it on, I think about my friendship and I think about how grateful I am to have that person in my life and how connected I feel to her in this moment for purchasing this lotion for me that is now part of my mindfulness routine. So there's really no right or wrong way to do mindfulness, and you can use it in any way that works for you. What's particularly important about it is that you really work to keep your focus on the present moment, that you avoid judgments, that you avoid saying, I'm not doing this right, or I should be doing this differently, or why can't I be better at this? Rather, you let all of those things go and you just focus on the practice of being mindful. Additionally, the more you can do this, if you can give yourself the space throughout the day to take these little breaks, whether it's using lotion, whether it's mindfully washing your hands, whether it's mindfully taking a walk, whatever it looks like for you individually, the more you can have that opportunity to be mindful, the more likely these things are going to be helpful to you as you work through dealing with some of the stress and anxiety that you might be experiencing right now. So I hope you found that helpful, and I hope you take good care of yourself.